How we doing, everyone? I trust you've been safe and well and training hard. So today we've got another recipe up and we're doing beef burgers. Now these ones are based on a popular fast food chain. If you're an older millennial, you'll remember the flavor and taste of their old school burgers that were quite full, filling, they were larger, completely different flavor compared to what they are now. Still pretty good, but the amount of sugar that's in the buns, in the meat, the emulsifiers, all that kind of stuff, you're not really getting bang for your buck or for your health. Now you might be thinking, how can you eat a burger if you're shredding for a comp? It's important to understand that it's all about balance. Balancing your fats, balancing your carbs, balancing your protein intake. And I think as you get older, when you have children, it's a lot harder to, do your meal preps, how you could just eat rice and minced meat or chicken, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you today what I do for our burgers. So first of all, you want your garlic powder. So I'm using all powders in all this instead of thicker ingredients, mainly because of the flavor. You want the texture to be all smooth and you don't want it to be chunky and things. Like I do quite enjoy it the other way, it doesn't really matter. So garlic powder, onion powder. Now I'm adding oregano in this as well. So yeah, I'm changing up a little bit. I'm putting oregano into these burgers because I quite like that flavor. Obviously, salt and pepper play a key role. Now we're using about 800 grams of beef here, so I'm making a few burgers for the family. So this is a really important ingredient, Worcestershire sauce. It brings out that flavor and enhances the beef. So you want a good drizzle over that, not too much. Squirt of tomato sauce. That gives it that tangy flavor. And this is an ingredient that a lot of people disagree with and agree with, but this is what they used to put in all their burgers. Good old-fashioned MSG. It's a flavor enhancer. It has less salt than salt. You can use it as a replacement for salt. I'm just putting in a little bit, not putting in too much. And now our egg to help combine it. So first of all, I'm going to mix all these ingredients. I've got breadcrumbs. I'm using panko. But before I put the breadcrumbs in, I really want to get those ingredients and all those flavors through the meat because the breadcrumbs will help it all stick together. Now, the best ratio of beef to use for burgers is your 70-30. So it's got that fat content that keeps them juicy. You can use leaner meat, but obviously leaner meat will give you a bit more of a tougher burger. All right, so now that that's all mixed together, it's time for our breadcrumbs. I'm probably putting in about half a cup there, just to soak up all that moisture. Now, the panko breadcrumbs are pretty good compared to the other ones. It'll give you that sort of that taste, that crunch a little bit, just adds to it. And I find that because they're a bigger breadcrumb, they absorb more moisture compared to, your finer breadcrumbs. And it just helps hold the meat together better. Now this already smells amazing. Now, this is the fun part where you get to actually form your burgers. So you just want to, and you can make them as big or as small as you want to make them. So we're just ball, in your palm of your hands and flatten them down. So I quite like the burgers a bit thick. You might like them thinner. You might like them bigger, I'm making them to our rolls there that we've got, just some burger rolls in the local supermarket. So they've got to fit that. And you've got to remember when you're cooking it, moisture will come out, the fat will come out, and you can they'll shrivel. So you need to make them a bit bigger than the bread. If you want to go even healthier, pop these on the grill, get all that fat to soak out. And they even have a better flavour than if you do it that way as well. I quite enjoy it. We're not doing it that way today, but maybe next time I'll show you how to bake them that way. So as you can see, how thick is that? Probably about 2 centimetres. So I'll keep making those and then I'll show you the next stage. So now it is time to cook our burgers. So in a hot fry pan, drizzle a bit of olive oil. Have a little bit too much in that. Now you can cook these on the grill if you like. It'll get that fat out and things like that. But I'm just cooking these on the fry pan. So burger 1. Burger 2. Burger 3. Burger 4. So you can make your burgers thinner or thicker to your liking. I've made these a bit thicker. So it'll take a little bit longer to cook, but it just makes it a more juicier, full flavour burger. Being beef, you can keep it a bit rare in the middle as well to add that juiciness. But I'll probably cook these all the way through. Now this part, see, and that happens when you don't put enough breadcrumbs in. So that's sort of broken apart there. Probably should have popped a bit more breadcrumbs in there to hold it together a bit better. So now, this is when you add your cheese as well. So as you can see, it's got a nice dark brown crust on our burger. And so what we want to do now is add our cheese. You can get burger cheese. I'm just using pasty cheese. You can use whatever cheese you like. So you don't particularly want to cook the cheese. You just want it to melt on top of the burger. Now you can help that cheese melt a bit better just by popping a lid on top of your fry pan. That'll keep the heat in there and the residual heat will melt that cheese through the meat. So as you can see, the lids help it cook a lot better, that meat. So we're just going to pull them off there, pop them on our plate. Kind of reminds me growing up, I don't know if anyone else used to go to Bell Street Macca's and they used to have cheeseburgers like just, they used to cook cheeseburgers and all that in front or up in advance, and there'd be just a lot of cheeseburgers on the back shelf because that was like the most sold burger at McDonald's because it was just a really, really good old-fashioned burger. Not the same anymore. Like, yeah, they make it fresh to taste, which is probably better for you and less risk, but the flavour is very different because... All right, so we've got all this fat in there. We don't want to put that to waste. This is where we cook our onions. So just jam them in there like that. And this gives the onions really strong beef flavours. A bit of melted cheese in there. Just simmer it around. Now you cook these until they're sort of translucent, so they're nice and juicy. Just pick up all that brown bits off the fry pan. It's all the beef, that'll add extra flavour to our onions. All right, and now it's time to put our burger together. So we're just going to do a bit of margarine. You can use butter if you want, but it's extra calories that you don't need. The butter tastes way better. And we're trying to reduce our calories here, so just a bit of butter. Now, with the onions that we just cooked on the fry pan with all the fat, we're using a fork because we want that fat not to come through into our burger. I mean, if you want the fat, you can keep it, but have a look at that. Lovely caramelized onions. We'll get a bit more. Just like that. Now, traditional fast food burgers have mustard and tomato sauce. We're just going to go a squirt of tomato sauce. We're going to get our burger. Whoa. Have a look at that. Tell me you would not be happy with that for dinner. Right, like that. Now you can do a BLT if you want. I usually put bacon and egg, but today's just cheeseburgers. And look at that. Just like I bought one from the shop, only better. Don't forget to like, subscribe and follow to stay up to date with more recipes to help you lose weight that will feed the whole family. Remember, keep training. Oh, and here it is, a taste test. What's it like? Good.